Jen Hyde, an intern with Green Spring, and I just wanted to, I guess, just talk a little bit about how I enjoy gardening. And when I say gardening on the edge, I figure it might have gotten people's attention. Since we have to stay safe in the rest of our lives, maybe we can take some risks in gardening. I'm not really that crazy a person. I was a teacher for, it says 23 years. I think it was 17, but that was very nice of Fairfax County to give me 6 more years. Maybe it was the subbing beforehand. But I retired in 2019 from teaching, and I drive a Prius and I live in a suburban neighborhood. But I do like to take some risks when I'm gardening. Not that kind of risk. Everybody should recognize that, what that is growing there. But these kinds of risks. So last winter, I grew, I used hydroponics to grow my herbs. And over here was the overwintering. And so this is a result. These are some of my plants right now that I have in my garden that I propagated or grew. I kept them alive over the winter so that they could thrive in the summer, and I didn't need, through the summer, and I didn't need to buy them. So I don't know if anybody knows about the techniques for overwintering geraniums, but I just, this looked like this last summer. This is the way it looks this summer. At the end of the summer, when the plant had died back mostly, I took it out of the pot, kept all but a few, took off all but a few stems, kept a few leaves on, put it in a cardboard box that was not tightly sealed, but loosely sealed, kept it in a dark, cool place in the basement, and then took it out, repotted it in early spring, and little by little it came back, and this is the thriving plant I have. Coleus, same thing, kept it little tiny plants, little tiny tops that I kept, rooted and then put into little pots, and then I didn't have to buy them and could put them into my window boxes. And then down here is my Persian shield, which I also took 3 cuttings of and kept alive through the summer, through the winter. I also have experimented with compost. So I have a keyhole garden, which is the raised bed in which the compost is embedded into the bed, and this is the compost bin inside. And I started out with the method of with the wood and cardboard and mulch, and then the soil, and then I make my compost in the center, throwing in all my kitchen scraps, and it is full of redworms. And their worm castings go right into the garden, and you can see it was a pretty prolific garden this summer. My tomatoes and my eggplant, and my eggplant is still producing out there. My husband and I also had some COVID projects where we used some pallets to build our compost pile. And I have been brewing compost tea for a while and using that on my garden, and that's what this is over here. I also did some vertical gardening. This summer we put in cattle panel arches. These are my beans. I have had non-stop green beans, and that's me pulling them down. And then this is the other cattle panel we used. You can see where the sun is. This is my, these are the Scarlet Runner beans, and all the sun was on this side, so that's where they grew. But they're hanging down there now too, but this is the first year, it was an experiment. This is the archway to our grandchildren's garden that we also put in as our COVID project. And some more vertical gardening. This is the other way I used a pallet, which is succulent garden. It's horizontal right now as it rooted, and I'm waiting for someone to help me create a rack so that I can hang it on the outside of my house, and then also be able to take it off and bring it into the basement in the summer with the lights and keep the lights on it. And over here is something my good friend Jennifer, who's helping tonight and is another Master Gardener intern, got me. It was something her neighbors wanted to get rid of. They were moving, and it is a vertical garden in which I have been able to grow my salad just about, I guess, less than a month ago. I planted all these seeds here, and I've had salad galore for the rest of the summer. Not all of my experiments are successful. I did have one fail, epic fail, which is my canna lily bulbs. I dug all of them up and washed them, dried them. It was quite the procedure. And then put them into shredded newspaper in an extra refrigerator I had for the winter, and then took them out and planted them in the early spring and in big tubs, and nothing came up. But the canna lily bulb that I had left over the winter in my old fountain that I use as a planter, did thrive and come back. And so that taught me the lesson that, okay, we're getting warmer, and especially with the mild winter we had, I don't need to do all that work with canna lilies. They might come back. My latest experiment is my modified rain garden. We thought we had dealt with our drainage problem. That's my new little baby over here. And I have her picture there just to show you how bad the grass actually gets with the accumulated rainfall. So we did put in, excuse me, we had put in or installed drainage in the form of a dry riverbed with pipes into two French drains that are the plastic enclosed French drains, one back here and one across the yard. And that it did alleviate the standing water tremendously. Now it drains in 8 hours, but that is still enough to ruin the grass. And plus, I didn't want all that grass. We have a lot of grass. So the name of the game is, more natives, less grass, less, stuff that you need to fertilize. So I looked up and gathered information on rain garden design to see what I could do there, because I was already directing the water away from that area. And rain garden is actually where you direct the water to that area. But as I said, water was still standing in there, so I needed plants that could stand the water or the fluctuation in water. And that's what I got from these two publications. Plus, I had some help, or actually a lot of help, from Jose and Anna, who worked to create a new garden bed. You can see they ran more pipe. They directed the water again away and took up the grass. And here is my new space for natives and pollinators. And I have quite a few other areas for natives and pollinators. But I don't have to buy anything because I can just move what I have grown into the bed. And I saved money on the plants, and that I could pay to Jose and Anna. But I have my hyssop and my grasses and the the other plants, I have the bee balm and the cauliflower, the lobelia, and lots of different milkweed. And here's my milkweed. And now I just have to transplant these things. So that's it. That's my presentation. Any questions?
I know you had one come in.
Okay.